Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Sunday, July 19th, 2020, 9:30 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Sunday is Rules Retrospective Day, and we took a break and looked at encumbrance last week, but we started a new series where we were looking at the various classes in first edition AD&D. We were starting off with a fighter, and we started off looking at the fighter by looking at where it came from, which is to say OD&D, Death Angel Shadow. Good morning. How you doing, buddy? I've been messing around with my filters on the green screen here. I don't know. Somehow my filters get screwed up, and now I'm starting to wonder what's going on with the world. If I can't be properly filtered, I have to say I'm a little concerned. That's not what I want. I want this thing. So listen, I'm gonna screw around with this for another minute because I really want to see if I can get this thing to. You see what's going on there? Look at me. I'm in between. Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe there's just no way to get the lighting to work well with my particular setup. Maybe I need to change. Where'd I go? Oh. Anyway, I think the defaults are like this, and I don't know if that's okay. And then you got this opacity, contrast, maybe the contrast, maybe the brightness. Play around with some of this. Gamma control. We darken me up like that, and then switch that out. That's a little better. I don't know. It's all kind of fuzzy. I think overall I need better lighting in here to make the green screen work properly. Something more directly on the screen, maybe? I don't know. I don't want to look all ghosty, but I guess that's as good as it gets for now. We'll get it fixed. We'll fix it in the mix. You can't fix it after the fact. It's either going to work now or it's not going to work. What if we didn't change that and then I get my face going there. But then, see? All this goofing around. So what do we think of the first level fighter? Is it our favorite character class? Maybe you need to expand the color percentage. Backlight the green screen might help too. Yeah, I think it's a matter of backlighting the green screen more than anything else because I've played around with the colors and that doesn't seem to do the trick. What if I don't know. Let's go back to the default, see where we're at, and then we'll play with it. See, I have to keep going back to the default to make it work. The opacity needs to be too high for it to be any different. Keeps resetting the default. I don't know. We'll just leave it like that. Maybe if we change where the camera is. How's that look? Does that change anything? A little bit? How's it looking behind me? I don't know. Anyway, good times. Good times. So I think we need to talk about the fighter today. And we know that crazy first edition. Should I be going with this background? Should I be There we go. That's where we want to be, right? If we're going to have special effects, we might as well make them fun. So, what else can we do here? I think we can bring this baby up. And is the fighter's kind of the default class, isn't it? Has it always been? I know the first character I played in original D&D in 74 when I first played was a fighting man. It was didn't have any spell casting, so it seemed like it would be the easiest thing of the three or of the classes to play. And so fighting man it was. The most people in a sort of a, I don't know, pseudo modern age, shall we say, seem to decry the fighting man as boring. There we go. Let's pop that up too while we're at it. And then we can widen her out just a bit there, right? And boom, boom. Right on. There's been this sort of movement in the more recent editions, and I say that knowing full well we're talking about the last 20 years, maybe 25. I suppose in spells, combat skills, and the later second edition attempts at expanding the game. Fighter, D10, maximum hit dice 9 in first edition, no spell ability, class level limit none. Right? Mm-mm-mm. The fighter is all about strength. Not all about, mostly about. That is the 3E on for sure. Death Angel Shadow. We started having um, fighters spruced up in a way to make them more, I don't want to say akin to spellcasters, to make them seemingly more exciting. Make sure they get something. The whole idea of feats alone suddenly gave all the classes something to pick up as they progressed. That was almost spell-like in its implementation. It was something you had to choose. It wasn't just taking an action, saying I'm going to get on the horse, right? Suddenly there were feats and skills and all that stuff in third edition that were tested out in some of the later second edition optionals, supplements. Um, and then, of course, once you get into 4th edition and these abilities, um, which were totally spell-like. I mean, the idea that you could mark something or taunt something, force something else to do, force an opponent to take an action that it wouldn't normally take in order to control the battlefield or control who that opponent would engage. It's spell-like. It's not, there are no guarantees in any other thing you do um, regarding taking actions. Could you produce a random effect in 1st edition? It's definitely a sort of homogenization, an effort to make sure that if you played any class at all, you felt like you were always getting something when you went up a level or when you gained experience, uh, equivalent or commensurate with um, other character classes. If I guess the idea was as long as you can't look at another character class and be envious of what they got compared to what you got, then the design was working in a way that felt egalitarian. And I can understand the impetus to design in that manner, and but I don't know that that's the goal you want when designing, or if it's just a result you want, and that's a different thing. If you design and there are results that you're happy with, that's one thing. If you design and your goals are only to get to a result where everybody's happy, then everything's taking a back seat to what you singularly perceive as the happiness of. It's like I say, it's a sort of a homogenization where we want to be all things to all people, no matter what you play. We want you at all times, not periodically, to have a spotlight shown on you, but for everybody to have a spotlight shown on them at all times. And I just feel that's an unrealistic design goal. I don't think if everybody's got a spotlight on them, it's not really a spotlight on, and they have them and the spotlight's on you all the time. It's not really a spotlight anymore. It's just the light. And if the light is always shining, then a game where you're supposed to be thwarting darkness has less meaning, I would think. If we guarantee that the heroes are always going to be winning, then they're not really heroes. They're not overcoming anything. And you need to be overcoming something to feel a sense of accomplishment. If it's guaranteed, it's not really an accomplishment. Anywho, soapbox, stepping down now, looking at fighters, and here we go. The principal attribute of a fighter is strength. To become a fighter, a character must have a minimum strength of 9 and a constitution of 7 or greater. A good dexterity rating is also highly desirable. If a fighter has a strength of 15, He or she adds 10% to the experience points awarded by the Dungeon Master. Also, high strength gives the fighter a better chance to hit an opponent and causes an increased amount of damage. This is all true. Fighters have a 10-sided die for determination of their hit points per level. No other class of characters, save the Paladin and the Ranger, subclasses of the fighter, is so strong in this regard. Fighters are the strongest characters in regards to sheer physical strength, and they are the best at hand-to-hand combat. Any sort of armor or weapon is usable by fighters. Fighters may be of any alignment, good or evil, lawful or chaotic, or neutral. Although fighters do not have magic spells to use, their armor and weapons can compensate. They have the most advantageous combat tables and generally have good saving throw possibilities as well. Fighters can employ many magical items, including potions, protection scrolls, many rings, a few wands, one rod, many other magic items, and all forms of armor, shields, and weapons. So that whole front section gives us the overview of everything we really need to know about the fighters. It continues to talk about later levels, but in a nutshell, it tells us what they can do, what they can use, what they're supposed to be good at, and how they're supposed to be able to manage to being good at those things. So, fighters, fighters, fighters. Experience table is not the toughest. Thieves are easier. Clerics are easier. Magic users are harder. So in this first edition, for those who are unfamiliar, you should know that... Oop, we get going. Oh, Artanis is stopping back. Nice. You should know that it wasn't until later editions that they homogenized, there's that word again, the experience point tables, such that all character classes advance on the same milestones in regard to number of experience points. So, and again, this is a way of ensuring a shifting spotlight so that different players via their characters can feel special or accomplished at varying times, rather than making sure everybody's all feeling good all at the same time and all of the time. Even if everybody feels good all at the same time as a group, group accomplishments are great, but without individual accomplishments and individual milestones, feeling like part of a group feels less special, right? When the fighter attains 9th level, and they used to have names for each level they attained, and in this case a lord, he or she may opt to establish a freehold. This is done by building some type of castle and clearing the area in a radius of 20 to 50 miles around the stronghold, making it free from all sorts of hostile creatures. Whenever such a freehold is established and cleared, the fighter will, 1, automatically attract a body of men-at-arms led by an above-average fighter These men will serve as mercenaries as long as the fighter maintains his or her freehold and pays the men-at-arms. And 2, collect a monthly revenue of 7 pieces of silver, 7 silver pieces for each and every inhabitant of the freehold due to trade, tariffs, and taxes. So they put a number on it. It wouldn't seem to matter whether you're next to a thriving gold mine or have your freehold in a desert. That's a number they've stuffed on it. There are more details in the DMG, which came later, in regard to strongholds and what good they are, what they can produce, what can you expect from having one. Getting back to those level titles real quick, let me just read down the ones here in case they're hard to see on the screen. Through level 9 Lord, you've got level 1 Veteran, then Warrior, Swordsman, Hero, Swashbuckler, Myrmidon for 6th, Champion, Superhero at 8th for Superhero, and then Lord is 9th, and then you've got Lord 10th level, Lord 11th level. Notice also the hit dice / hit points cap off at 9 at 9th level, but the hit dice do, but then you still get some extra hit points. So you get 9 plus 3 extra hit points, 9 plus 6 at 11th level, so 9 dice plus 6 extra points. Fighters gain 3 hit points per level after 9th level. So there's still something to be gained as far as hit points are concerned. And certainly regarding fighting prowess, it's always nice to gain levels because even the let's do this. We're going to slide me down in there. We're going to bring that up like that. And then we're going to notice the level of attacker hit dice 15 to 16, 17 plus on this fighter's chart. 0, notice, is down here by my finger in the middle. You get up to 17th level plus, you're hitting on a natural 4. And let's be honest, if you don't have an additional plus 4 at 17th level for your strength and sword and some other bonuses, that would be crazy. Let's also be clear that back in the brazier. Let's also be clear that the opponents are unlikely to be as low as armor class 0 at that point, right? You're going to have some incredibly tough opponents that are all going to be nailing you. Grail Knight, good morning. Right. The old first edition. Love that screen. We're going to put this baby over here. We've gone through all of that fighter stuff. There's not a ton to go through. We'll leave off the Ranger and the Paladin. We'll leave off the subclasses until next week. And that way we have more to do then. See at the angle I'm at, right? Maybe I'm just up in the doorway. I don't know. Where am I hiding? What if I'm the head of the... Here, this will be fun. Can we just... I should have worn a green shirt, right? Then we can make my head the head of the... Get the horns up there, right? Well, that was fun. Anywho, we're just about done for today anyway, so like I say, we'll do the we'll take a look at the fighter subclasses, the Paladin and the Ranger, next Sunday, and back to Pancake, huh? Let's go there. Okay. We'll take a look at those next Sunday, and I just want to emphasize, by the way, don't forget, 1 week from tomorrow is Gary Gygax Day. That it actually falls on a Monday, the 27th. So plan on running or playing in an RPG of some kind. Maybe not next Monday, but weekend leading up to it. Why not, right? There's no reason why we can't use that whole weekend as a way of celebrating the father of modern role-playing. Hey, who's that? Who's that hiding behind? What are you doing? Am I in this little box? Why am I climbing out of this little box on Gary's shelf? Hey, buddy. Thanks for the RPGs. See how much fun we can have with these newfangled... So much good times. So, July 27th is a Monday. The 24th is a Friday. Plan on it. Lots of gaming that weekend. For the rest of this week, let's look at Monday, tomorrow, weekly news and the giveaway announcement. Oh yeah, you know what? I should actually make sure that I am on week 17, right? Can you believe we've been at this long? Is this episode number 129? Wow. Who's in charge of that? Death Angel Shadow, let me pop you in on this fresh week. Grail Knight will get you in on that too. Artanis, you were lurking. You should say something in the chat whenever you're here, because gets you in on the drawing. Don't I still have a Artana, I still have a 13th Warrior DVD for you. I know we haven't seen each other. I expected we would probably wind up seeing each other around, but if you're listening and you would like me to send that to you via the mail, I'm happy to do it. Let me know. And looking at the rest of the schedule, Tuesday, Cartography and World Building, Grimbald or Campaign discussion. Wednesday, Painting and Crafting. Thursday, Building Adventures on Friday. DM Reviews on Saturday, and back around to the Rules Retrospective. If you're following the channel, thank you very much. Be sure to chime in. If you're on YouTube, please